You're watching Soleful Discussions.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. First of all, how did we run into each other today?
Well, I was on my way to Best Buy, and this gentleman approached me.
Absolutely. So I approached you about an interview for YouTube. What are the 3 topics I gave you? I gave you 3 different topics.
You gave me the last one I'm not familiar with.
Yep.
You gave me, was it women's
Yeah,
mental health?
Mental
health and women something?
Opinions about the subject of feet, mental health, reflexology, right?
Correct.
Let me ask you this. When you hear the word feet, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? What do you think about?
Feet?
Yeah? What do you think about?
This is totally ridiculous, but I just think about feet. Like,
Okay.
feet, yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Cool. We're going to ask you some questions today. Just feel free to answer however you like in the moment, okay?
Okay.
What about when you hear mental health? Do you think about anything in particular?
I was saying that I don't think mental health is talked about a lot, especially like in your daily daily life. Like it's so easy to be caught up in the stuff that's going on, like focus on other people's health or like mental health and to be exact, and forgetting about your own. It's like I like to say this. I heard it somewhere. I don't know if you can hear me. I heard this somewhere when I was watching an interview or perhaps a podcast that I was listening to. I remember them saying that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Wow.
Saying if you're constantly giving, and you're not taking care of yourself.
Away, you got nothing else left.
Yeah, and that's when you find yourself, experiencing burnout. You find yourself experiencing like depression, anxiety, all these other things.
That's deep. I love that. I love that saying. That's really dope.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about dealing with stress, anxiety, different things that may come up in life. Maybe some things that you've learned. I'll talk to some things I learned on my channel, things like that, okay? And then last year, reflexology, you asked me as soon as I said it, you said, what is that, right?
Yes.
We're going to share the information with you today, and I just want you to tell me what you think about the information once I give it to you.
All right,
sound
cool.
good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Let's start with the first question. In terms of mental health, what is something you think we can do to like improve mental health awareness throughout the world? Is there anything you think we can do?
I feel like we can tackle it at work, especially since work is universal. You're always going to be constantly working, no matter where you're at. There's never, like literally never not going to be work.
Now, unless you somehow become a millionaire overnight, you're going to be dealing with that, absolutely.
Obviously, therapy is another one, but not a lot of people know how to reach out to a therapist or exactly know like the resources that are available for that. Yeah. So I feel like work is your easiest go-to if maybe if your job had some type of like mental coverage of mental awareness and stuff like that. I think that'd be awesome.
That's really dope. It's really dope. Fill in the blank on this question, okay? The world would be better if
the world would be better if people could be more humble and considerate.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've heard that one so far since I started asking that question. So humble and considerate, and is that because a lot of times we don't sometimes we can get caught up with everything we think we are, what we want to be, and sometimes we forget there are other people around us and they might not have as much as we do and things like that.
And in that aspect as well, but also in like the thought process, we have to understand that like not everyone's gonna think the same way we do, and I think respect really goes a long way.
Absolutely. If a friend or loved one was dealing with stress, anxiety, anything like that, is there anything that you would say or do with them to kind of help them to get through that?
So the way that I handle these situations, or let's say I'm noticing that someone I love or care about is overwhelmed at their max, I usually invite them out to do something that they love where it doesn't really require much of their energy or much of like thinking about it. Something that they love, or excuse me, or simple as asking, "Oh, are you okay? Like, what can I do for you?" Yeah.
I think what I love about when I do ask this question, a lot of people tell me literally just letting them talk, because sometimes people just want to feel like they're they want to know that they're heard and somebody's listening to them. So just it's something as simple as that, like you said, taking them out and just, hey man, whatever you want to talk about, just feel free to vent.
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
So, definitely dope. Yes. In terms of this next question, you don't have to go too in depth, maybe more of a surface level answer. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some things that bring you anxiety, and when you feel anxiety happening, right? What do you do to like counteract or kind of like cope with how you're feeling in the moment?
So usually I trigger my own anxiety episodes by overthinking of what, like the future or what could happen or what's going to happen instead of just focusing in the moment. Yeah. And the way that I happen to deal with those like episodes, I just take a breather. I either write these things down that are worrying me, or I just like literally just take a deep breath and say, stop worrying about things that aren't happening yet and just focus on what's in front of you. Because I'm overstressing myself for no reason.
Exactly. And it's like, I always heard this from somebody, and it was always something I wanted to stick with me, but it's like the moment that you're in now is called the present for a reason. It's like you can't get that back. Like, so you focus on that because it's a present for you. Like, you know, you absolutely need to focus on that and be appreciative of that because that's something that's gone every fleeting moment. So definitely dope. Love that. Yeah. If you could change one thing about yourself, like say somebody gave you the power and they're like, give you the power to change something. It doesn't have to be something physical. It could be like a behavior. Is there anything you would change?
Probably my overthinking.
Okay, the overthinking.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. And I feel like I self-sabotage myself that way a lot.
Yeah, you create subterfuge and all that stuff. Like yourself.
Yeah.
I definitely have, I think what we're going to talk about today is definitely going to be helpful for you because it was helpful for me. I'm a chronic overthinker myself, so it'll definitely be helpful for you. Absolutely. Right. Okay, let's get into these questions now. I'll be intrigued to see how you feel. When I think about my feet, how do you feel when you think about your feet?
I feel small.
You feel small?
Everyone always points out that my feet are small.
Okay. What size do you wear?
Men's 4 and women's 6.5.
That actually is pretty small.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So people make that compliment, a comment to you.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, how does it make you feel in the moment?
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed? Because do you want them to be bigger or?
No, it's just like the fact that they go out of the way to point out that my feet are tiny. It's just like, oh, what am I supposed to say to that?
Yeah, it's like I can't change it. It's part of my anatomy. Absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever received compliments about your feet? Has anybody ever said to you, "Hey, I think you have nice feet"? I've
gotten your feet are so small and cute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When people have added the cute part on the end, how did it make you feel when you heard that?
Flustered.
Flustered.
And embarrassed.
Okay. So is it?
But flustered, like shy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, is it because it's like something shy? Like, it's like, oh my God, they're pointing out something.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like that. Cool. But like, you were still appreciative of it. You still were like accepting of it.
Sure. If they add the cute part, it's better than just saying your feet are small.
Yeah. I see. Because it's like almost like I'm adding some like sugar onto.
There you go.
Absolutely. Got it. Let me ask you this. In terms of compliments you receive from men and women, right? Is there a certain group you prefer it more from? Do you prefer compliments more from men or from women?
Women, because I tend to have more girlfriends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, I love complimenting people, especially if I see something that, oh my gosh, like she's pretty. Your makeup is super beautiful today. Or like, I love your shirt. It doesn't hurt to compliment someone, especially if you feel that way, like, oh my God, you look so nice today, you look so pretty.
You gotta let it out, man. Let it out. I think that a lot of times we get caught up with, what is this person gonna think if I say this to them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think that the best thing in life is just to let people know how you feel, because you never know, they may be having a long day, or it's been really tough, and just hearing that one thing could make them
light
feel
up
positive.
their world.
Absolutely. In terms of compliments you receive, right, is there a certain compliment that when you get that compliment from somebody, you're like, man, that made my day, it really made me feel good? Because we know it's not you got small feet. That doesn't make
No. Usually when I have let's say if I have my makeup done or my hair done, and someone points it out that, oh, you look nice today, it makes me feel, personally, I don't do it for others. I do it for myself because, let's say, I want to feel confident. I want to feel beautiful today. I want to feel this type of person today. So when someone points that out, it's kind of like, oh my God, I know I look good, but they're telling me I look good, and that makes me feel good
it's
too.
It's like reinforcing what you
like I already know. Yeah,
absolutely.
basically.
That's really dope. Let me ask you this: how often do you get pedicures?
Say it again.
How often do you get pedicures?
Pedicures, I want to say like, I don't really like fake nails. Not
fake nails, but just like when you go get them painted. Like,
pedicures, not manicures.
Yeah, not manicures. Yeah.
See, that's how you know.
Pedicures.
There's your question. There's your answer.
Got you. So not often.
In the summer, I do.
Okay.
But like winter and stuff, I like to do it myself because it's
Ah.
like no point in going.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm not gonna show my toes out in the winter.
Absolutely.
But in the summer, definitely I go get them done.
What about
Like
the spring though? Because that's when it really starts to get hot. Like you start to feel like those hot temps. Like right now, like the last couple of days, we've been like at 75.
yeah,
80.
and 80, 90.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my toes done real
There it
soon.
is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of a medical pedicure? Does that sound familiar?
Medical pedicure. I assume it's like, I mean, for me,
Yeah.
I feel like it's when, let's say, you have an ingrown toenail and
Correct.
someone does it, like goes through to remove it
Surgery and
medically.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
surgery and
So
stuff.
now there is a little bit more in depth to that. So yes, that is part of it, but
Uh-huh.
also like this is going to see a podiatrist, a specialist of the foot. What they do is they look at your feet. They like make sure your toenails grow correctly. They check your toe alignment to make sure your toe alignment is straight. They'll check your like feet for like dead skin, fungus. Do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. It's like
Yeah.
literally the cleanest possible pedicure you can get. They don't do colors.
Yeah.
They do clear coats though. So like it's
Uh-huh.
like they can make them look nice and shiny. But what would your thoughts be on seeing something like that who could like tell you more about your feet? Like tell you like, hey, this is what's happening. Like they can tell you like if your feet tend to be more dry.
Yeah.
This is the type of lotion to use. How would you feel about that?
I think that'd be cool, honestly, because it's like an expert
Yeah.
saying what you're basically putting out your personal needs.
Yep.
And that's another form of self-care that you
Absolutely.
can,
And
give
it's like
yourself.
going to see a dentist because like when you go to see
Yeah.
a dentist, they tell you do this to like prevent
Yeah.
this from happening. So this is kind of the same thing for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often you wear open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
Open toe shoes,
Yeah.
usually when I go to the beach.
Okay. So
A special occasion that,
Yeah.
let's say weddings or
yeah. Are you
that
going out to party with
requires-
some friends
yeah.
or something like that?
open toe, heels.
Got it.
But my go-tos are usually the Nike, oh my God, what are they called? The white shoes, Nike Blazers.
Nike Blazers. Okay.
Yeah, those are my go-to.
Nice. Absolutely love that. In terms of going barefoot, how often do you do that?
A lot.
A lot. Okay.
At home.
At home.
Yeah,
Okay.
at home, but not
Not
like
in public,
out in
though.
public, of course, yeah.
What about like? So have you heard of earthing and grounding before? Does that sound familiar?
No.
Okay, so that's like going barefoot in like grass, dirt. sand.
Oh, yes. I love
Absolutely.
doing that.
It's like something that you can do for like meditative purposes. So
Mm-hmm.
you've had a long day at work, man. It's been very exhausting. You can go stand out in the grass and just 15 minutes focus on what am I feeling right now. Like I'm
Yeah.
focusing on like the soft grass against my feet, the cool breeze that's going by, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the sounds that I'm hearing, like the birds chirping or whatever like that. And it's supposed to help you like unclog that mental space that maybe
Yeah.
was clogged up. What are your thoughts on trying that a little bit more, like getting more into that?
Funny thing is, I do that a lot.
Okay.
Because that's for me, the way I de-stress as well is like just connecting with nature and just
Absolutely,
letting
nature.
my body feel basically like unwinding and meditating a lot. And I do that a lot in my front yard
Yeah.
with my cats
Oh, nice.
and just,
okay.
just let everything that I'm feeling, just let it go.
Yeah.
Then it feels
'cause
really nice.
I think a lot of times, because the first time I tried it, right, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think sometimes you can be skeptical about things like, right, I don't know about this. And I tried it and I was like, okay, actually I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get up from that feeling lighter and like just feeling like, I'm not worried about like what
Yeah.
happened before. Like I'm just kind of cool with everything now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right. So in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like?
Like look like?
Yeah.
Like just take off my toe? I mean, take off my sock.
We go step by step. We don't just take off your
Like
sock.
take off my sock?
Can we get you to take the sandals off and then just put your feet here? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you talked about having those small feet, the size, would you say 4 and
4
men, and
and
like a 5 to 6
6.5,
and,
yeah.
and women's, right?
Women's, correct.
Okay, and let me ask you this. So, first of all, because I don't know if you know, there's different toe alignments. Have you ever heard of that before? They're called
Yeah.
different things. So, what toe alignment do you think you have?
This toe right here, the second toe,
It's a little bit longer?
it's longer than all the other toes.
Do you know what that's called?
No.
It's called a Greek toe alignment. It's like an Grecian toe alignment. So, like, if your bigger toe was longer, that's
Yeah.
called an Egyptian toe alignment. So, that's kind of what you have there.
Uh-huh. So
Oh,
what does
yeah.
that mean?
So a lot of times people, so like when you're in Greece, like if you go around, people who are predominantly from Greece tend to have that type of toe alignment. Whereas
interesting.
people who are from like the Egyptian like heritage or something, they tend to have that bigger toe that's bigger. And like a lot of us do like kind of come from that Egypt like type of
Yeah.
So like, that's usually what it is. Absolutely.
interesting.
All right, cool. Let me have you, if you can you stretch your feet out straight or
Like
Let me
straight.
have you put them here. Yeah, that way we can see them straight on. All right. Cool. Okay, and then now you can take your socks off.
Both of them?
Yeah.
But I have a bad pedicure.
Don't worry. So we're not here to judge. Like that, I'm gonna tell you why we're doing this. Like it's gonna make sense once we get there.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, cool, and then you said the 5, 6, and you said you have a bad pedicure. We're not worried about it. Nobody's here to judge.
Little pelitos.
Okay, so yeah, you had the pedicure. When was the last time you had one?
I did it myself.
Okay.
And I accidentally overcut this toenail, so it's been sore for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But the last time I did it, I think it was like 3 months ago.
Okay, cool. No worries about that.
Yeah.
Now that's how you take that one off. And we can tell, so like, first of all, I would say this, right? Your feet tend to be on like more the slender side, right?
Yeah.
I think you as a whole, you're pretty slender, right? Absolutely.
I'm pretty petite.
So you're more narrow. Your feet are more narrow. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Cool. All right. And so like, yeah, you have great toes. I don't see anything out of place or anything. Oh, don't worry about that. Cool. You're good. All right. Let me put your feet back up here so that way we can see the bottoms.
Girl, they're dry.
Stop. Like first of all, you're walking around. You didn't know that this was happening today. Don't worry about that.
I legit didn't. This is like such a cool and weird social experiment.
Absolutely. And so here, we're gonna talk about it. You can put your feet down for now, but leave your feet up. We're gonna talk about a couple more exercises. Okay. So let me tell you about the mental health what got me started in my channel. Okay. Mm-hmm. So first of all, during quarantine, I was watching another guy's channel. Yeah. He was talking about exposure therapy. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. So
is it kind of like doing things that make you feel uncomfortable,
yes.
but I don't know, like after
it's
that.
It's like trying to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So basically, like, I'm uncomfortable doing this, but like, you know what? I want to get out of not doing it, so I'm going to go ahead and push myself past my comfort zone. Exactly. Yeah. So when I heard about that, I'm like you said, I'm an overthinker. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, should I do this? Should I do that? And before I know it, like the whole moment has passed me by. It's like too late for me to make a decision. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I want to get better at that. I just want to be able to make snap decisions because not every decision is something for me to like think so deeply about, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had the idea. I was like, during quarantine, a lot of women were getting into football, and that was a thing, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, what would happen if I just approach random women who I just met? We're having a discussion, right? Mm-hmm. We get to this point where we purposely set this up to where it's like, do you still feel comfortable? Do you get to a point you feel uncomfortable? And then are you able to come out of that comfort zone? Are you able to be like, what's the worst that's going to happen in the moment, right? Is somebody going to like make fun of, she doesn't have her toes done, right? Mm-hmm. Is that something you can fix? Yeah. Yeah, right? Those are things that you can fix. So like, why would you worry so much about it? So that's what I try to do, like paint the picture, let people see that so that they can learn to like, in life, moments like this are going to come up. Mm-hmm. Are you always going to be like, because you feel uncomfortable, I'm going to go the opposite way? I tend to do that, run from my, Yeah, it's like, hopefully it goes away, right? Yeah, but it's like, been better, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But hopefully, like, now after doing something like this, you'll be able to have something you can look at and be like, okay. It wasn't so bad after. It wasn't so bad, right? Nothing bad happened. You didn't get struck by lightning. Nothing happened. You're okay. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts about that? Because my channel is all about trying to like make the subject of feet more positive, so people don't think about negative things. Yeah. So my thought process. Okay. So in the beginning, I was like, okay, when I had my socks on, and you kind of just talked about my feet, I was still comfortable. Okay. But then after you asked to remove my socks, I'm like, okay, it was a little uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just, let's see where it's going. Absolutely. And I'm share my YouTube with you and everything, so that way you'll be able to see like exactly what the process is. It's the same every time. Absolutely. So I feel like once I just got over that. I was overthinking a lot. I was like, oh my God, my toes aren't done. I can see you. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like my toes aren't done. They're like cut unevenly. Like, oh my gosh. But once you just got them off. Yeah. You don't feel anything crazy, I don't feel anything crazy anymore. Like I just feel like my toes are getting in fresh air. There it is. So let's talk about reflexology because you said, what is that? I'm going to tell you right now, and then I want you to tell me what you think about it, okay? So reflexology is all about the different pressure points you actually have in your hands and in your feet. Those pressure points actually connect to different parts of your body. So, like, let's say, for example, through like massage, acupuncture, acupressure, you can alleviate stress and tension to various parts of your body. So, I don't know if you've ever seen when you go in the mall, sometimes they have the charts up and it shows like the different areas of the feet that it connects to this and that. I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay. Yeah, they have it. They actually have one. Have you ever been to the Carson Town Center? Yeah. you know where the IKEA is? If you go in
Yeah.
there, there's like literally a place for reflexology that they have that. They basically call that zone therapy, basically, because like you can like target this area, impact something else.
Ooh,
Absolutely. So let me ask you this: like, first of all, what would your thoughts be on that? Because like, let's say for example, you're somebody who deals with migraines. I don't know if you do, but if you're somebody who deals with migraines, you can actually massage a portion of your feet and your hands that alleviates the tension you feel in the moment. Actually, a piercing you get in your ear does the exact same thing.
So
what would your thoughts be on
here?
that? Yeah, it's like right here, like it goes through. I don't know if you've ever seen people who have that like.
My boss has one, yeah.
And she might have it. You should ask her like, so did you get that for migraines? And just watch and see what she says. Like she might say yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
probably.
But what are your thoughts about that? Do you think that's a positive thing? Good thing?
I definitely do believe in the pressure point.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, because I've done it. I know there's one on your hand somewhere.
Yep.
That
your
I
head,
leave,
right there, right where your thumb is. If you put your hand out, right here,
like
applying
right here.
pressure there and massaging in a circular motion definitely helps out any tension in your head that you're having.
Yeah, so I've done it before, and I know there's one like, is there one for when you're anxious or when you're feeling like alterated?
Yep. Some for your lungs. There's like different areas. Absolutely.
I think it's really interesting how like your body has those built-in mechanisms to relax you or to like do other stuff.
Yeah. And I think if you think about it this way, right? Because this is what I always try to tell people. I paint the picture this way. Your brain controls every part of your body, right?
Yeah.
You send signals through like different parts of your body. Do this, do that, and that stuff happens, right? These parts, where it comes to your fingers, your hands, and then also your feet, those are like ending points. That's where everything ends at. So like you can also send messages back the opposite way. So it's like input and output, basically, if you think about it that way. Absolutely. So like that's why I usually try to paint the picture for people with that. Absolutely. Let me ask you this: would that be something that you'd be interested in? Like if you had an opportunity to go to somebody and like get some of that work done, would you ever do it?
So usually, because growing up, I would do it for my dad, and my dad does it for me.
Nice.
Yeah, but now
do you feel a difference in those moments? Nice.
Like usually when my body is stressed out, let's say because you slept the wrong way, or just because all those knots built up from stress or from sleeping, my dad and I would massage each other and just press those pressure points. And my dad always tells me, you have like magic thumbs because you always know where. Yeah, I know the spots.
That's dope, man.
Every time I massage someone, they just feel like. They tell me like I just felt like my stress just leaves my body, and I'm just like you can't do the same for me.
Yeah, some people have a gift, man. It's like it's not something you can like necessarily teach. You just have that magic touch. Yeah, absolutely.
My parents always told me I have magic hands.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So when we get to this moment of like talking about reflexology, we used to talk about sensitivity, right? How ticklish do you tend to be?
How sensitive?
Yeah. So you get pedicures. Like when they're doing the pumice stone, do you get really ticklish? Or you like?
I used to, but once I got more like exposed to the whole like scrubbing of the feet and stuff,
it got easier?
Yeah, it got easier.
What do you do?
I usually just squirm.
Okay.
Yeah, but to get I don't know. For me, let's say, if you're not used to being touched. Yeah. It's kind of like you're gonna feel you're gonna feel it, But
Absolutely.
once you expose yourself to that same feeling every like once in a while, it gets easier.
All right. Yeah. Now I have a trick. We usually like to show like what the trick is. Do you mind if we test that? Just to show that real quick.
Sure.
I'm using a tool. Okay. Go. All right. Let me have you if you can. Let's put your feet back up here.
Oh, my feet.
Yeah. Put your feet back up here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with right to left. I'm going to start from bottom to top. I want you to tell me where you feel it at the most and which foot is most sensitive, okay?
Okay.
Sound good? Mm-hmm. So let's start. Tell me where you feel this at the most.
The middle.
So right when I got to the middle. Okay. Let's see if I can get all the way to the top. Do you feel it at the top? You feel it at the top too. I can see you kind of moving a little bit. But it's mostly in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try your left. Tell me if this one is worse. Is this one worse or is it less?
Less.
Okay. Now here's what I want you to do. While I'm doing, I want you to wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. More or less?
Less.
Do you know why?
Because I'm guessing I'm moving like those muscles.
I talked a little bit about it earlier. So you're sending signals, first of all, to your feet. Move, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a distraction. You're not paying so much attention to
like the feeling, yeah.
But at the same time, because you wiggle your toes, you move the energy actually to like a different place. Like kinetics. That's basically what it is, moving energy.
Distributing,
Absolutely. So let's try one more thing because this is more like the pumice stone. So I want to try this one to see if this one, if you feel it more or less than you did when we just did this one. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to my like that. Where's the bag at? All right, here we go. I think that's it. All right. All right, cool. All right.
Comb.
Let me know if you're ready. Okay, don't
Ready.
wiggle or anything. Just regular. 1, 2, 3. And that one's worse. That one's
Yeah.
worse. Okay, but you said it has been, how long since you had a pedicure? Like 3 months?
Like 3 months-ish.
So yeah, you're not as used to it right now. Okay. What is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like a bunch of ants.
Like a bunch of ants.
It gets me antsy.
It gets you really antsy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try the wiggling again. You tell me if you feel it less.
Less.
There it is. That's your trick for you. So which one of your feet is more sensitive?
This one.
It's the right one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So like when you do get your pedicures, try that a little bit too. And also you can try wiggling your fingers while you wiggle your toes. You'll definitely feel it less. Absolutely. I'm going to get you to do a couple exercises. All right. And this is going to be test dexterity, flexibility in your feet. Okay. What I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Is that easy to do? Is that hard to do?
It's easy.
It's easy. Okay. Relax. Spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Easy. Spread and hold. Easy or hard?
Hard.
Is it because you have to think about it like?
Yeah, like I can't really do it unless I'm like not thinking.
Got it. Relax. Okay, and now let me just get you wiggle for about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything happening. Nothing? Pretty normal, standard? All right, cool. Let's wrap up the interview. In terms of my approach, when I came up to you, I said, hey, can we do an interview for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Did you feel my approach was good? Was it bad? How'd you feel about it?
I felt comfortable. I didn't feel intimidated, or I didn't feel like, let's say, you know how people get conned? I usually have a really good radar. I really have a good radar for people.
Okay.
I feel comfortable. You know, you coming up to me, obviously you're a stranger, but I didn't feel any like malintent from you or anything like that.
Appreciate that.
So I was curious.
Yeah, you were like.
Yeah, I was curious as to why you were coming up to me.
Yeah, and then you also said like, I don't know my makeup's not that, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not sure if I want to do it, but I had to like tell you like, man, we're not worried about that. Let's just see. But we definitely appreciate you.
Convincing too. You're convincing.
Yeah, I had to try to like just see if you could get out of that comfort zone. That's part of it too, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, a lot of people sometimes are uncomfortable. Like, I don't have on my best clothes. I don't have on the makeup. It's like, don't worry about that. So, in terms of the interview, right, start to finish, did you see how everything was going along in the line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new?
Yeah, I was sort of confused how all those 3 topics that you like pointed out connected.
Yeah, when I said it at first, right? You were
like, I was like, wait, I was interested on the mental health aspect. That's why I was like, okay, I'm interested in this part. Maybe if I just, hear you out, I'll see where this is going.
Absolutely. And so you can kind of see now, right? We're talking about all these topics.
Yeah.
I get to the point because I want you to feel the comfort first, right? But then I want to purposely put that in there to see, can you continue to be comfortable, or do you like, well, wait a minute, now I'm start overthinking everything, like, well, this, that, and this.
Yeah.
And sometimes people really will overthink. I just interviewed a girl over there, and she said, well, she didn't want to show her feet because she's like, my feet are not done, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking she has bad polish on there, whatever. She just had natural toes, and she was just like uncomfortable because of that, and I was just like, that's not, not really something to be uncomfortable. But it's like, I was like, I respected it. I was like, hey, I completely understand. Maybe you just like to be at your top.
Yeah.
How does it hurt you to not be there, right? Because
So
you can't always be ready, right?
So for me, it was kind of like, I was, what was that one term you used? Exposure?
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, exposure therapy. I felt that intensely. I was like, wait, hold up. Like, my toes aren't done. Like, they're not at their best, and he wants to see that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like weird, and it felt awkward, but then like after I just got over it, I'm just like, they're just toes, bro.
It's like, it's not gonna hurt you. That's why I always try to get people to understand, like, it's not gonna hurt you. You'll be perfect. Anyway, the last thing I always ask, something you can say to my channel from a mental health standpoint. Maybe it's a life lesson you learned, wise words somebody share with you. Anything you can say that can be helpful to everybody.
Always make sure your cup is filled before you
that.
go around filling others.
I love that.
That's
so
literally
true.
That's literally something I stick with so much, and sometimes I find myself like not practicing it, but it's really important to just focus on your own mental health before you can go around and help others.
Absolutely. And I think it was good because something I heard you say that like kind of painted that picture. You talked about giving massages to your dad, but him also giving massages to you, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, even though you're giving something to him, he's giving something back. So it's like that little bit I'm giving, I'm getting it back because he's also like refilling that cup of what I just did. So reciprocation, very important.
Very,
absolutely.
yes.
Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping into this interview with us. All right. And we
Thank
hope that you have a great one, okay?
Thank you.
All right.